red button. Now you can see us. So, what's up, everybody? It's your buddy WolfmanPedro, and who's with me today?
I'm Sanna!
Sanna's finally on the Backseat movie!
Finally.
This is only the third episode, but still.
Well, we say finally because we were talking about this idea, like, obviously before it became a thing, you and I, are like, because we do this all the fucking time anyway.
You got all salty
and then I got
Mr.
salty
Snake was on it first.
That he was on it first to a movie that we watched at the same time.
I wasn't invited to watch with you guys.
You didn't invite me.
Well, I didn't know that you were there. Well, regardless.
Anyways, besides the banter, we just got done watching The Hitman's Bodyguard, starring Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds.
Everyone's sweet baby man crush, Ryan Reynolds.
He's my everything, and I love him.
And quickie review, oh sweet baby Jesus, yes, give me more.
You know what? Yes, 100%.
God, it was so fucking good.
Guys, I love this movie. It's one of those things, you watch it, and it's not like...
Like, alright, I'm gonna be fair with it. Sanna, during this movie, could you see every story beat coming, like, could you see every story thing coming beat by beat?
Yeah, the more they played into it, for sure. Yeah. But...
Is it? Well, I'm gonna wrap it all up, so I have just, like, a line of a few.
Okay.
So, could you see, like, what the story was gonna do?
Yes.
Could you see exactly how they were gonna, or for the most part exactly, like, okay, now Ryan Reynolds is gonna do this thing, or Samuel Jackson's gonna do this thing. Like, their characters are gonna do these things.
Yeah.
Is it, in essence, just every other, quote-unquote, like, bloody cop movie that's ever existed? In essence.
In essence, yes.
How, would you agree, however, that it does that shit so fucking well, and these two have so much goddamn chemistry, and it's just so fucking charming that you don't give a fuck?
Oh, 100%. And on top of that, too, where it's like, alright, I watched the trailer. You watched the trailer. Everyone watching this has more than likely seen the trailer. I did not expect that. Did you just run a red light?
I might have. I thought I was in the good.
Breaking the law. From the trailer itself, I would not have expected the movie to be what it was.
In all fairness, I myself have not seen the trailer.
Oh, well, look at that.
No.
You kind of went in blinded, didn't you?
I saw the poster and I was like, the fuck is this? And yeah, that was it. I haven't watched the trailer for this movie.
Okay, well, how I saw it in the trailer, I didn't expect the story to do what it did.
Okay.
I don't know, because I didn't watch the other ones. Are these non-spoilery?
Oh no,
reviews?
We spoil the fuck out of this movie in this review. I've done it with The Dark Tower, we did it with Spider-Man. We can say whatever the fuck we want.
Okay, part of me kind of feels a little bad though. Part of me kind of feels a little bad.
Well, that's why. Spoiler alert! Big fucking loud. It's happened with the first 2 episodes. It's happening with the 3rd one. This is a spoilery fucking show. Because again, we're in the car. This isn't scripted. We just got out of the fucking theater. Like, it's what we feel right now, what we're thinking right now. So I can't, like, filter that on purpose.
No, not at all.
Because I'm not fucking thinking about it. So that's why, like, prepare for spoilers every time.
Cool, every time. Prepare for spoilers.
Prepare for spoilers.
So yeah, I really fucking enjoyed it. We were sitting in that theater, and there were definitely moments where I was just laughing. Like, I couldn't stop. There was that moment. All right, so there's a part in the movie where Ryan Reynolds is like on the phone and he doesn't have his seatbelt on. And he flies through the windshield, and they're kind of sassing each other about like a seatbelt, like safety.
Throughout the entire movie, one of the big bits of banter between Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson, who we'll dive more into later, but one of the running gags in this movie is like Ryan Reynolds, he's the straight man in this movie. Samuel Jackson's the clown. And he refused to put a fucking seatbelt on, so Ryan Reynolds is always yelling at him like, you gotta be fucking safe, put on your goddamn seatbelt, yada yada blah blah blah. Until eventually, he's the one who's distracted, he's in the passenger seat, he's not wearing his seatbelt. He, meaning Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
And they smack into a fucking barricade, and he flies out the goddamn windshield. And they're saying, Jackson, what happened to wearing the fucking seatbelt?
And it's just one of those banters, and you know, obviously the scene goes on, there's more car chases, this and that, and I was still giggling, like, because I would think about Ryan Reynolds, like, flying through this windshield, and it kept making me fucking laugh. Like, this movie made me laugh.
This movie's really fun. Like, it's really funny, and you know what?
It's a super feel-good movie.
It's really touching. Like not in the, oh my god, I'm gonna cry, and I feel, it's like, oh, that's kind of sweet. Like, that's nice.
It's really nice. It's really sweet.
One of the big things of the movie is love. Fucking everything Samuel Jackson does.
Say that is, like, one of, if not the biggest, like, play on point in this movie is love. Yeah. What will you do for love? Like, and how would you do it?
Yeah. I mean, there's other things, like, they ask a question, like, who's the bigger sinner? The man that kills the evil motherfuckers, or the motherfucker protecting evil men? Like, you haven't killed anyone, but you protect these people that are fucking dirtbags. I killed them. But then there's one less dirtbag in the world. You know, so that's like the other thing, but it all comes back to love. There's Samuel L. Jackson, like, well, what would this world be with? Take away like the sex, the money, the cars, the guns, take everything away. What do you got left? All that's left is love, baby. Everything I do is for love.
It definitely hits a very touching note of, like, aw.
Yeah.
And they become buds, which you're like, durr, that's gonna happen, but so, it's still fun to, like, watch how their characters, like, grow with it, which is really fun to watch.
It seems to me like Ryan Reynolds recently has been, like, actively looking for these roles that's like, let me find these scripts or these, like, other types of movies that they take a known, very played out, very cliched genre and flips it on its head. And that's what this one does with basically the buddy cop genre. Or the buddy action genre.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it, in all fairness, as well as, like, Hot Fuzz, let's say.
Hot Fuzz is such
but you can tell that this movie took a lot of inspiration from movies like Hot Fuzz and, like, other fucking deconstruction movies.
Oh yeah, for sure. A big thing I like about it too is the fact that, like, it doesn't peg itself down as one thing where it's just like, it's not gonna take itself too seriously.
No, it has fun with itself.
Yeah, like, as you're watching the movie, like, you are enjoying it probably as much as they were making it.
Oh yeah.
Which, and the chemistry is really good.
Yeah.
Earlier today, we were talking about another movie where I was saying that the chemistry within the characters did not work.
Yeah. In this, it worked fucking beautifully.
And in this one, because it's really important to see that with characters and with actors themselves, to have this person bounce off of you so well.
Yeah.
And, like, though, actually, I think that they bounced off each other fucking perfectly.
I thought they were fucking phenomenal. But let's get into, because we've already been talking about them, let's get to the specifics, the nitty-gritty. Let's start with our two main leads, the beautiful Ryan Reynolds and the impeccable Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson in this movie is just an older version of his Pulp Fiction character.
Yeah, he's just
100%.
What the fuck is his name in Pulp Fiction? I can't not believe it just fell out of my fucking head.
Dude, I've been trying to think about that too for the past, like, 10 minutes. I'm like, fuck me.
But yeah, if you've seen Pulp Fiction, he's
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
It's Samuel L. Jackson. Like, I was reading a review that's like, it's sad seeing someone try to play up this persona that they created a generation ago, and it's like, he doesn't play it up. It's like, it's just Samuel L. Jackson doing Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's fucking great. Like, is it like the most daring, intelligent thing Samuel L. Jackson could have ever done with his career? No. It's just Samuel L. Jackson having fun being like, I'm Samuel L. Jackson, motherfucker.
Samuel L. Jackson at this point
can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Exactly. Like, he doesn't have to prove himself as an actor or anything. He's just like, I'm motherfucking Samuel L. Jackson. Like,
you paid for me to yell motherfucker at people.
Yeah. If you are a fan of the word motherfucker like I am, you're gonna love this movie. Oh my god,
he motherfucks so much motherfucking.
Also, if you're a fan of Ryan Reynolds' face, you're gonna like this movie.
Here's something that I liked about Ryan Reynolds in this. With the exception of one part, and that could have just been me, he was not Deadpool in this. It was Ryan Reynolds acting. He did a wholly different character. except for like around the end, he's like helping in this chase scene. He's on a motorcycle and he's wearing a helmet, and through the helmet, like you just hear like, "Excuse me, pardon me," coming through, and it's like, "Oh, that's Deadpool!" Like I couldn't help but hear Deadpool. I don't know if it came out on purpose, if he intentionally did that, but specifically when he was on the bike, he's trying to get people to move. He didn't want to hurt any pedestrians, and he's just like, "Oh, will you fucking move?" Move. Yeah, move. Like, I couldn't help but hear Deadpool, but I don't think that was necessarily a bad thing.
No. Well, I also have gained, like, a lot of fucking respect, because growing up, Deadpool is my favorite comic book, like, superhero. I'm doing air quotations, because the thing with Deadpool is he wants to be a superhero, but I mean, he's a mercenary, and oh my god, he looks up to Captain America like it's no one's fucking business. Anyways, read all the Deadpool comics, and you so good. But like Ryan Reynolds really like took Deadpool, like he was just like, I love this character and I'm going to do everything that I can for this character. And when you like read the comics,
it was his baby.
When you read the comics, like especially now, you can definitely just like hear Ryan Reynolds' voice. But like just like the way that Deadpool speaks, the way that his jokes play off, it is already very like how Ryan Reynolds will do his stuff. So I have mad rad respect for Ryan Reynolds for taking my favorite character and just doing him so much justice. And then to watch something like this where it's like, I'm a big fan of Ryan Reynolds, like I think the guy's fucking great. I think he's super talented and I think he's super funny. And to play off fucking Samuel L. Jackson, who is another very fucking talented, super fucking funny dude, and it just fucking works.
To just have that chemistry. And again, it's like,
guys, Salma Hayek is also in the film, and do not let her small presence like
because like in all fairness,
set aside, she's not really in it. She's so fucking funny though. In all
fairness, she's in it for maybe 10-15 minutes tops. But Jesus fucking Christ.
That I think it was the first time we laughed. She's like sitting there and she just starts
I was like giggling like the whole time, and then she came up and she made me lose my fucking mind.
Brother and I were just sitting there just so laughing. Because it's like her first scene is really good, like just how she like, plays it up and how she acts it.
Like her character is married to Samuel Jackson, and she's also in prison in Amsterdam, in like a prison that's like, she has a beautiful view, they treat her nice, they're like, it's like whatever, she can rule that place if she fucking wants to. In fact, there's this running gag that she has like a roommate, she constantly makes her roommate stand in the fucking corner.
Oh my god, when that roommate fucking farted.
She gets at one point like, alright, so this is how
it's a fear fart.
Yeah, this is how the scene plays out. Samuel Jackson, he's able to make a call and says that he's the lawyer so that he's able to talk to Salma Hayek, who talks to him, and they have this great banter, and that's like one of the first times it's like, oh, that's sweet, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's romantic, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, for how they're speaking to each other.
Yeah, and when you learn their backstory, it makes it even better. But
she's great.
Yeah, like she's fucking ruthless with him. Like in Spanish, she's like, "You fucking cockroach, mother-loving motherfucker." Like,
goddamn
it's
fucking whore.
It's all your fucking fault that I'm in here. And she's like yelling it at the top of her voice in Spanish. There are subtitles for.
There's subtitles a little bit, because there's definitely parts like when after the phone disconnects in that scene, there's no subtitles. She's just freaking out and like hitting the machine. There's no subtitles for that. But
I think that would have taken away from it. It's just like, I don't care what she's saying for people that can't speak Spanish. All I know is she's fucking mad.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then
that's when the girl farts.
Yeah, she's like, oh, and then you hear like she gets one big scream, and then the cellmate in the corner's like, oh. Like it's not smart, but it's funny.
It's dumb potty humor for sure. But like,
and that's like the only real bit of potty humor. It was so quick and it was so stupid and so funny.
It was just one of those things where it's like, it kind of throws you off guard for like what you're expecting this movie to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of a sudden you're just like, I think that is definitely like a really good key moment of just being like, I just need to like not assume anything with this movie.
Yeah, no.
I just need to experience this movie.
All I know is like, because like a few minutes in, you know, like, okay, I know exactly what this movie's going to be, which is a buddy cop film. If you've seen buddy cops, you know how that formula plays out. Difference is, it's not buddy cop movie. Why? Because Ryan Reynolds' character is a bodyguard. And his main clientele are really shitty people, like corrupt politicians and shit, and cocaine dealers and shit, you know, like, but they pay him to protect them, you know?
He has a AAA service.
Oh yeah, like some bullshit like that. He's like, I used to be AAA, like, bodyguard, fucking whatever the hell, but then his girlfriend, who's played by Elektra from Daredevil, like, and she was great too. I loved her.
Honestly, like, I thought everyone did pretty fucking well.
Everyone did their fucking job. It was good.
I had no idea that until the fucking we started watching the movie that Gary Oldman was in it at all, let alone the bad guy.
We'll get to Gary Oldman. Don't you worry.
Okay, cool.
But it's like Ryan Reynolds' character, like, he's a bodyguard who, for lack of a better term, protects scumbags because they pay well.
Yeah.
And he had a great life. It shows him driving a Jaguar at the very beginning of the movie. He has like this. He's protecting this like corrupt Japanese politician gun runner guy or something.
You know, I still don't know really what he did. I just know that he was a corrupt Japanese guy.
All we know is that he was an evil Japanese asshole or something.
He looks
and he
sweet.
he gets into his plane and immediately, boom, some like sniper gets him. And Ryan Reynolds' face, you see, he's all smiles and he's just like, oh,
it takes a moment. Like, everyone reacts around him and it takes him a moment to just be like,
I did everything right. Everything was perfect. What the fuck?
I planned for everything.
And at the end of the movie, you find out it was actually Samuel L. Jackson because, let's get to the next character, Samuel L. Jackson, who, let's be fair, was the star of the movie. It was him and Ryan Reynolds, but this was, I feel, personally, more Sam Jackson's movie.
Well, yeah, I guess it kind of revolves around him more.
Yeah.
Because he is the one who needs to be escorted to the place to do the shit. So yeah, I would give you that.
You find out that he's a contract killer. It's what he does. It's how he makes his money. It's how he pays his bills.
Yeah. I mean, just a regular old contract killing.
The people who he kills, because you find out he has like this rather surprisingly strict moral code.
Yeah.
Like, no innocence, no whatever, you know, like, but they still play it for laughs. But you find out the only people he really kills are like corrupt politicians, drug lords, like people who need to get shot, like who need to fucking die. And we find out, constant fucking back and forths with Ryan Reynolds, because he's typically the guy, ironically enough, protecting the people who he is trying to kill.
Yeah, they talk about how, like, the moment they see each other, they try to kill each other. It's
very
really
early into the movie, like, Elektra, LD Young, I think is her name. LD Young's character, she works for Interpol. She calls Ryan Reynolds and she's like, listen, asshole, and this has nothing to do with, like, us and our past, because, of course, they used to be a couple.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Daredevil just wasn't good enough.
Apparently not.
Dude, she's gonna go around all Team Red.
All Team Red. Tom Holland's next. Anyway.
But he's a baby, so no.
He's like 21 years old.
Well, he looks like a baby, so no.
Anyway. She calls him and he's like, I have your next client. Like, you have to protect this guy. They see each other before Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson know that they have to work together. And they have a fight scene.
Right off the fucking bat.
Really good.
It is. It's a good scene to show you that, like, these two fuckers know what they're doing.
And, like, they know what they're doing and they know each other, and there's some history there.
Some little baby history of, you keep protecting the bad guys I'm trying to kill.
Yeah.
And therefore I keep trying to kill you. And it doesn't work.
Exactly. And it's not like Samuel Jackson sucks at his job. It's like, it just so happens that every other few, you know, that he's trying to protect, like that, if it just so happens Ryan Reynolds is protecting him, he's not going to get him. He got lucky. He even says, like, he got lucky with the old Japanese man that ruined Ryan Reynolds' career, basically.
Yep. Brought his AAA status down to a 0. Because nobody wants to hear that you lost a client, so.
And, yeah, the other thing that I found interesting is how they show off their dichotomy, like, Samuel Jackson's all about the guns. He can shoot, no problem. And it's not that Ryan Reynolds sucks with guns, but he'd rather be up close and personal.
Yeah, their fighting style is very different.
There's this chase.
Very cool to watch.
Yeah, like typically if it's like a shootout, it's all Sam Jackson. There's this scene, however, when Ryan Reynolds is following and protecting Samuel Jackson while they're in Amsterdam, I believe. Yeah, it was Amsterdam.
Yeah.
That there's all these people looking for Samuel Jackson, and they keep they keep trying to get behind him, and Ryan Reynolds like pulls him into bushes and knocks him out all quiet. And the best ones when you see like one guy get up from a bench, he pulls a gun out of his pocket, and before he can even start to aim it at Samuel Jackson, fucking Ryan Reynolds, he like cups his mouth, boom, punches him in the like kidney or something and knocks him out immediately, sits him down on the bench, puts his head down with his hat covering his eyes like he's just taking a nap.
Yeah.
And it is so fucking cool. Like just that quick 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it shows like his dynamic on how he fights. Yes. Another really good scene that shows that is when they get separated. So he's running through like the train and into the kitchen.
During the climax of the movie, basically.
And so he's super up close and personal. Never once pulls out a gun. I don't even think he fucking has one throughout the.
No, not until the very, very end.
Where he runs into a guy, and then only then when he's onto the ground, you see that he stabbed him in the fucking chest with a switchblade.
With not even with a fucking Swiss Army knife, one of those tiny little things.
Then there's the part
boom!
where they're in the kitchen, and what does he grab? A rolling pin.
He grabs a rolling pin
and he throws a frying pan.
Yeah.
And if anyone knows me, frying pans are my go-to.
And he just holds a dude's face down on a fucking flat iron grill, and it's beautiful.
It's a really fucking good scene.
This movie's brutal.
Yeah.
When the fight scenes happen, they happen.
I also really like that scene because it really made you feel choked. So when they're fighting in that what the hell is that? So when they're fighting in the kitchen is tiny.
Yeah.
Built for maybe 2 people kitchen. You know? And there's 3 guys fighting in it. Jumping around doing this. You really feel like you're
and not
tight.
Jumping around kung fu-iness, jumping around Ryan Reynolds. He's alright, if I sit up on this ledge and I hold this dude's face right here, I can kick this guy over there.
Yeah. It feels tight, and it's really good on how the way that the shots were made in this movie were done super well.
All right. Before we get into choreography and all that, because we've talked about Ryan Reynolds, he's great.
We keep going back to him.
We've talked about Samuel Jackson, he's great. Salma Hayek, there's not too much to her, but she's fan-fucking-tastic. We have our 4th main character, who is a villain, who I didn't even realize it was him because he's a goddamn chameleon. Gary Oldman.
I knew that was him.
I didn't even realize until around the end. Well, I think it's because he comes in and he immediately has this presence. He is goddamn terrifying.
He's an evil fucking dude.
He's an evil motherfucker.
He is basically a dictator of Belarus.
Yeah, and he's fucking scary.
His first scene, he's interrogating, I guess, a teacher or a professor or whatever.
Yeah.
And he kills his family in front of the professor. He kills the professor's family.
And it's
because the professor was telling his students that he was not a good president, that he was a dictator.
Yeah.
And oh boy.
Yeah, it's
he shows up and it's a very strong presence of I don't want to fuck with this guy.
All right, so this is why I wanted to bring up Gary Oldman first. Because with that scene alone, it reminded me of Inglourious Bastards, but in some more sinister.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to next get into the cinematography and all that, because it felt like this director, who, by the way, the last movie he directed was Expendables 3.
Yeah.
Holy fucking jump, Batman.
Yeah, I don't remember The Expendables, but I know that this is a movie that I'm not going to forget.
Oh, yeah. It feels like he is, I wouldn't say fresh out of film school, but he definitely has his, I would say, 3 favorite directors from what I saw in this movie. And went, I want some of you, I want some of you, I want some of you.
Yeah.
This movie felt and it doesn't feel, at least to me, it didn't feel choppy. All this felt smooth. But it still felt very inspired by, if that makes sense. Inspired by Quentin Tarantino, Edgar Wright, and Shane Black.
Yeah.
I'll
give you those.
Those are the inspirations of this guy who made this fucking movie. And you can see it in the cinematography. You can see it
in how they shoot the fight scenes.
Yeah.
In the
really
music
good.
choice, the whole ending.
The music choice was so good.
The whole ending was basically set to music.
It was. I do have a problem with the music.
Okay.
And it was mainly in the first, I guess really like within like the first like opening credits and all that.
Mm-hmm.
The music was so fucking loud.
That wasn't the music, that was the sound design. The sound design was a little weird in it. Like, a little weird at, like, the beginning of this movie. Mm-hmm. They, like, tried to accentuate, like, this is a thing! So everything was really fucking loud.
So, like, there are definitely
their
parts
voices
where, like,
were really quiet.
Yeah, like, Ryan Reynolds was, I think, on the phone, or, like, Samuel L. Jackson was on the phone, stuff like that. And you couldn't hear them. And it's like, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And I was throughout the movie thinking, like, was that just, like, an audio thing, like, in the theater that we were watching? But then everything, like, was nice and smooth, and that wasn't a problem.
Mellowed down. It was like, no, I think that was
15, 20 minutes.
I was gonna say maybe the first 30 minutes. After we see old Japanese man get shot in his plane, and then it cuts to Ryan Reynolds sitting in now not his Jaguar anymore, but his beat up piece of shit old car.
Yeah.
Just sitting there, and you hear like water, and it's like, what the is it raining outside? And then you see him like shake, and then it's like you hear like a blub, 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 and then he puts a cap, and it's like, oh god, he was peeing in a bottle.
My favorite thing is the fact that he doesn't get rid of that bottle.
I know, it's in the.
I don't know why.
It's in the movie until about the halfway point.
And it's not like a big thing. It's not like they constantly bring it back. It's just there, you know?
Yeah, it's like he just throws it in the back seat of his car. Eventually, at some point, Samuel L. Jackson ends up in the back seat. Ends up in the back seat of the car, and he's giving him shit this entire movie. So then he sees the bottle, and he like knows what it is, and it's like, oh, what's this? All of your electrolytes?
Yeah. The banter's very good. But yeah, the music choice that they had for the movie, super fucking
awesome.
So good. I'm going to get all the songs. Actually, a good chunk of the songs I already have.
I think you do.
Because I'm a big fan of like really weird and stupid songs that make me happy.
It had a lot of weirdness, and then it had like at the ending it was like a montage to the 80s.
Yeah, it was so good.
So this movie was ridiculous.
The 80s.
This movie was ridiculous.
It was
but really in the most
fun.
loving of ways.
Yeah, because it's like you can have a really ridiculous movie and you can watch it and know what it's trying to do and just be like, But this one, like, I definitely, like, I sat there, we watched the credits, and the whole time I was like, I was so happy.
Yeah, like, this was just such a feel-good... Again, like, if you're going to be a snobby film critique, you will go into this believing that it is daft, and these type of films have been done before, brings nothing new to the table. Everything is just immature humor, and wannabe quippy banter between two stars who believe that they are above the material, not trying... No, fucker, like, it's a fun late summer movie that you could tell these two guys had so much fun making.
Yeah, that's my problem with a lot of critics.
It's not
that they take shit like this
way too seriously. It's like, this isn't that movie. No. They were showing trailers, and I was like, all right, if you want to be like that just from what the trailer showed us, be like that with Mother, you know? That's that new movie that's gonna have Jennifer Lawrence and it's a new Darren Aronofsky movie. Like, that deserves your snobbiness.
Yes.
Because that's the type of movie it's trying to be. This is fucking really stupid jokes with a story about love. Explosions for no reason, mind you.
You know what? It was really funny. We were sitting in the theater, and there was like that part where like one of the cars explodes, and I like wasn't looking at you, but I could see you in like my peripheral vision. I could just see your hands. Like, why?
Like, why? I did. It was like, at least you explain. Like, you tried to explain the others. That one had no reason. It's because you wanted to watch something go boom.
It was great. But that's what this movie
wasn't
is.
even the worst one. The worst one was at the end when
the helicopter.
They do. The cool guy doesn't watch the explosion. A flaming helicopter crashes into a building at the very end of the movie behind Samuel Jackson as he's just staring down Gary Oldman. and it's like that badass fucking. It kind of reminded me of like when Logan walked away from the helicopter in X-Men. Only just like he's not moving, he's just like staring at him like I'm Samuel Jackson, bitch. And again, that's where this is a great deconstruction movie. Like again, it reminded me of Deadpool, the deconstruction of the superhero movie. It reminded me of Cabin in the Woods, the deconstruction of the horror film, or of like the cabin horror film. You know what I mean?
Super good. Yeah.
It reminded me of those type of like, fuck you, we're doing it this way movie.
Yeah, which is great. It's such a refreshing thing to see when they're just like, hey, here's a genre or like a style of a movie or whatever that we've done multiple times.
And you know what?
I'm gonna
have some fun with it.
I'm gonna put some stank on that.
I'm gonna put some stank on that. I'm gonna add a little bit of barbecue sauce to that fucking hamburger, bitch. Delicious.
Like, that's kind of what, the very first time I watched Black Dynamite did that to me.
Yeah, because it's a fucking parody exaggeration of what were like the blaxploitation films of the day.
Yeah.
That they take the cliches and they ramp them up to 11 and have fun doing it. That's what this movie did. Because even at the end, the part that you're like, oh, it's about to get fucking real.
Yeah.
Fucking Samuel Jackson shoots Gary Oldman in the leg. He's like, get up on the ledge, motherfucker. And Gary Oldman has this whole big speech like
you're never gonna, like, you're not
like
good
you
enough.
Think,
like,
look at your face, you're so proud. Well, you're always gonna be the man that leaves a trail of corpses behind him. There's no redemption for a man like you. I'm just gonna be another body in the pile. And then Samuel Jackson looks at him all serious and just starts laughing. He's like, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
And he Spartan kicks that.
After he goes, the only the place where you cross the line is you shot my bodyguard, and then he kicks him off the goddamn building.
So good.
It's like you still get the fucking villain going, and then you get him dying in an epic way. But typically the hero is like, there may be no redemption for me, but there's no life for you. Boom.
Yeah,
and Samuel Jackson just goes, I don't give a fuck.
You're expecting like this like super cool like I've changed my ways one-liner that like they always fucking give you, and he's just like,
he's like, no,
I'm not changing my ways. I don't give a fuck about any of that.
And technically thinking about it, there were one-liners in this movie, but there were one-liners in places that one-liners are not supposed to be, or they came at the end of a joke.
Yeah.
Like fucking after this, you feel like it's gonna be this big shootout. They're in like they're on like this back road. This van pulls up behind them. And again, the deconstruction, you see like Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson, they're behind the car and they're like, all right, what do we got? All right, we got 3 of them behind us. All right, well, if I pop up, I can give suppressive fire and we can go. All right, well, this is what we're gonna do. We'll pop up, I'll get the one at 12, I'll get the one at 11, you get the one at 1 o'clock. We'll see who gets to 12 first. There's Ryan Reynolds like, all right, so we have our plan. We're gonna shoot him in 1, like on the count of 3. 1, and then not even seeing the shots go off really too much. You see Ryan Reynolds. 1, Samuel Jackson gets up. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, just fucking boom.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. It totally fucking. It takes away that like epicness, and it's like, wait, what? That's it? That's all you give me?
So good.
And then there's Ryan Reynolds like, what the fuck, dude? That we were supposed to be a team, and then their car, because it was already kind of on fire, before we can yell at him, explodes. Then they're on the ground. Well, at least we still have the Jeep. At least we still have the bad guy's van. And then the guns that were in the trunk of their car all go off because of the fire, and it causes that car to explode. After the line, at least we still got the van. Boom.
So it's one of those like this movie really likes to just take everything that is fun and twist it into something new.
And it knows who its audience is. It's through and through, it's a buddy cop film, but played for criminals.
Yeah.
It's the other end of the law.
If you want to see this movie, basically this movie, it's very different, but not criminals. What's that fucking movie called with Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks?
Dragnet?
Dragnet, yeah.
Dragnet is like the clean cop version of this.
Exactly. These are I would say
Hot Fuzz is the British version of this, but still the clean cops, only they go fucking crazy at the end. And this is the Here's the other thing that I was gonna say. This is the low, dirty American version of Hot Fuzz.
So good.
Because it's like you watch it, and again, you can tell this dude loves Edgar Wright, loves Shane Black, loves Quentin Tarantino. He looks up to these guys. I feel like... I don't know if this is true.
Watch me watch an interview and he's like, I fucking hate those guys.
Right?
I'm just
I'd be like, really? After watching that? Is it just me, or did this movie feel like... like... overly American? Like, it's not set in America at all, but it's like, we need explosions and all, like, the shit that, like, Americans crave, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But dial 211.
Yes, because you have, like, our main two are very American. Well, one's not actually an American actor at all, but, you know.
He's Canadian. He's close enough.
He's close enough. He counts. He's an honorary American.
He's an honorarium. They're like, fuck that, I don't want that shit.
We took him into our wing.
Yes.
But I mean, they're they're huge stars everywhere, but like...
Two of the biggest names in Hollywood.
Just like the way that they act, yes, I would compare it to like other films that we've seen, like other foreign films and this and that. Like, it is a very...
Another example of what this movie reminded me of, but again, it's like... You remember the movie In Bruges?
I loved In Bruges.
This reminds me... If they're like,
so
we want to,
in Bruges.
if like, okay, In Bruges, like you could tell, it's a European film. If an American took In Bruges and went, I want to make this, but let's make it better. Not saying that it's better than In Bruges, but in like that,
in our style,
in like that American, like, yeah, this is what we need. And it's gonna be fucking epic.
Well, that's basically what it did with. I would say Hot Fuzz is a better comparison.
Okay, that's fair. It's like, you got explosions, I'll give you more explosions. It's something for no reason. It's
really?
a great... It's so... The thing is, I want to believe that this is a purely European film that's like... Someone that's so bone hard for America that they're like, this must be what it's like. It has to be. That's what it feels like. It's in Europe, but I want to be America. Or it's just an American that's like... Europe's a lot prettier than us, so let's destroy it with our American bullshit.
That was basically the premise to, what the fuck? What's the movie with Gerard Butler protecting the president?
Oh, White House Down.
But it's the second one. Did you see the second one?
Yes, I did. It's just
really
as ridiculous. Jared Butler for fucking Splinter Cell, please.
Yeah, dude, straight up.
Not fucking Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is like everything.
He deserves to be in these action comedy movies. It ends with fucking Samuel Jackson and Salma Hayek. Samuel Jackson breaks out of prison so he can spend his anniversary with Salma Hayek in the bar that he met her, where she killed a bunch of people like that were trying to fuck with her.
Yeah.
And it's like she kills them undiscriminately. I don't think I said that word right. I don't care.
That's alright.
And they go back to that same bar in Honduras for their anniversary, and there's just a riot going on around them, and they're just slow dancing in the middle.
One of my favorites is if you're like looking at all the people, it's great because they're slow dancing, so it's really fun to watch people. There's like these two guys fighting, and it's like this little dude.
I just on top of the other guy's like trying to poke his fucking eyes out or something.
He's like eye gorging this big fucking dude, and he's got like his feet on his chest and just like going at it. He looks
like
eyeballs.
an angry monkey on top of this guy.
Oh, that part.
And then
there's like a guy on fire in the background.
Yeah, and there's just Salma Hayek and Samuel Jackson just dancing. Like, I am so glad you remembered our anniversary, mi cucaracha.
Yes.
And
It's so cute.
it was like, that's surprisingly cute.
This movie is very surprisingly
cute. It takes
cute.
everything that you would want and flips it somehow. Like, oh, we're gonna be cute, but there's a riot literally going on around us, but we are so fucked that we don't care.
Yeah.
It's so... I don't know what else to say about it without going in circles. This movie was so fucking fun.
Yeah, I wonder how many times people are like, they said this already.
Again, that's why it's the Backseat car review.
It's like as soon as we're done,
yeah, it's just we fucking vomit out our thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Even if we've already said them.
On IMDb, it has a 7.3. I think that's perfect.
I think that's a great score.
This isn't going to be at anyone's, like, I don't think anyone's favorite movie of all time.
Not of all time, but I'm going to buy that. The moment this movie comes out on Blu-ray, I'm buying
I'm going to buy
shit.
it on Blu-ray, too. And if I have a 4K TV by then, haha, I hope so. That'd be awesome.
Oh, good.
I'll get the fucking 4K version.
Really fucking good.
I know. This movie's a lot of fucking fun, yo. If you're
And there's a lot of things that we are, like, keeping out, and a lot of things that we haven't even, like, come close to, like, discussing or scratching the surface.
Yeah.
But, like, again...
There's a fucking Wilhelm scream in it. They were even able to put a fucking Wilhelm scream.
When?
During the fucking bike, like, motorcycle chase.
Yeah.
And, like, a dude falls off his bike into, like, the river, and you... Very clear. Like, the fucking Wilhelm scream. It's like, you even had time to throw that in there, huh? You didn't want to change... You had to stick to tradition?
Listen,
and
everyone
it's
needs...
very, very obvious. That's the other
everyone needs
thing. But I loved
Wilhelm
it.
scream. I think that is, like,
It's
the pinnacle of a movie. If it has that
so
scream.
funny. This movie's funny, and it's awesome. Don't take your kids to go see it. There's swearing galore, and like we said, when the violence kicks up, it's not like
Swear and galore.
swear and
Gory. Gory. That was a hat hitting my head.
yeah. Even though these two are very fucking...
It's not working.
Even though these two are very recognizable faces, this is not a movie for kids. Lots of swearing, and the violence doesn't slowly ramp up throughout the movie. It's like, no, when there's violence, there's violence.
Yeah, just like kind of right off the bat.
The blood looks really good.
I really want a french fry. What do you call
Okay.
that? Yeah, the violence looks good. All the acting itself, like, is really good. I shit it over good, my bad.
I don't know where else to... It's just good if you're not expecting an Oscar-winning performance from either of these two thespians, and you just want a fun, deconstructed summer buddy cop movie, go watch it.
Yeah.
It's so worth your time.
Well, my thing is, too, like, even if we ever review a movie that we don't like, go watch it. Like, don't...
Yeah, this is just the opinions of two dumbasses on the internet, fucking...
Sitting in a car eating french fries.
And, yeah, having to pee but not wanting to say anything until just now because, I don't know, why not Wobbuffet?
Okay.
But
yeah, so it's always like, don't ever read reviews.
And take them for
And if you do,
face value.
You know, take them with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But I think...
Because, I mean, critics hate The Room. They don't see the joy in how they don't see the fucking charm of Oh Hi Mark, and how there's pictures of spoons framed in almost every scene.
Is that why they throw cutlery?
Yes.
Oh my god. Definitely. Okay, so I got this buddy Matt.
That's a totally different
I know,
thing.
I'm just gonna rant about it for like 2 seconds.
Okay.
Matt and I talk about The Room all the time. We talk about it at work, when he still worked there and all that. All was good. And he and I were like, because we have another buddy, his name's Joey, and he told us that he went to a showing once, and he was like, everyone like brought their own like plastic cutlery and just started throwing it out the screen. And I was like, what?
Did they never yell spoons? Because you're supposed to spoon.
I'm sure they did, but like Matt and I had never gone to see it a live, quote unquote, live showing of The Room. And we were just sitting there like, what? And we've had other people tell us that this has happened before.
It's a thing.
I know it's a thing, but I didn't know why.
Now you know. Because
oh man, that's like a Scooby-Doo mystery solved.
There's framed pictures of spoons everywhere in the movie.
That's amazing. I'm gonna have to watch it again.
I think fucking Tommy Wiseau thought it was artsy.
He thought his face was artsy, so like...
Oh, Mark, you have so many questions.
This is a different movie. We can't be talking about this movie while we're talking about...
You know what's a legitimately better movie than The Room?
Hitman's Bodyguard?
Hitman's Bodyguard. Is it just as stupid? Yes, but in legitimately good ways.
Yeah. It's a very fun movie.
I love this movie.
You're gonna probably leave the theater
you'll be... Even if you never want to watch it again, you'll probably be leaving going, well, that was a thing. That was cool.
That was nice.
And if you don't like it, I'm sorry you wasted your money.
If you don't like it, you can always ask for it back.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done that, though.
Neither have I. Also,
I've never left the theater.
Neither have I. And man, that's a totally other episode on something that I wish I fucking did. On a certain movie.
But, yeah, anything else you want to touch on?
Talked about music.
Sound design was weird at the beginning, but then
super weird. Like, be prepared if you go into that movie. Like, it's gonna be really fucking loud. Like,
for the first 20-30 minutes,
and you won't be able to hear talking.
And then it just out of nowhere balances out.
It's fine.
It's
really fucking
the
weird.
sound is just as weird as everything else, because it sounds good, but there's a lot of obvious sound effects and points that you could tell is an audio joke, like the Wilhelm scream, for example.
Yeah, so that's really weird.
Or the over at least you saw the van. It wasn't just a boom; it was a fucking boom, really loud when the van exploded.
Is there anything else that you disliked about this movie?
I
think we did a great job of hitting everything that we did like.
Anything I didn't like about it?
So that audio thing.
Gary Oldman would have been a better villain if we got a little bit more screen time of him, but I think he got just enough.
We got enough to know that he was menacing, but then the rest of the movie it's him sitting in a room.
Yeah.
Though that scene when he sticks the pen through that guy's hand, that was a good scene.
Yeah.
Even when he's not doing much, he shows the presence of being the villain.
Yeah. I don't know. I personally because of the movie that this is, I can't think of any of anything I find legitimately bad that isn't just a straight up nitpick. Oh, you know who the mole is? The minute they're there's a mole, you see him call, and it's just I'm the head of the thing, and I'm a mole. You know,
he should have just had a big fucking red nose like Rudolph. It's me. It was so obvious and it's so in your face.
The only thing that would have made it more obvious, but kind of think of it, because of this type of movie, would have made it kind of funny, would have been anytime they talked about the mole, if he very just quickly and shyly looked at the camera, that would have been funny.
But it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't have worked. But that's how obvious it was.
Yeah, that was a big thing that kind of bothered me, was most of the movie doesn't really try and shove shit into your face, this is the plot, this is what's going on. It wants you to have fun with it.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that I felt was really drilled into your head, this is the mole, and you're
I know.
Because there's a scene. So, how you were when the car exploded for no reason, and you're why?
Why? I didn't dislike it. Just fucking why?
Mine was the immediate he's talking to Elektra.
And whoever the other head lady was.
Yeah, and as soon as Elektra walks away, she is not even out of the room yet. He's surrounded by a bunch of people, and he immediately picks up his phone and starts talking to people. I was nobody notices this?
He takes, a walk to the wall.
Not even.
Oh, yeah.
He's standing there. As soon as she walks away, he picks up his phone,
And he calls Gary Oldman, and he's yo,
this is the shit that's going down.
This is what's up. And they don't even hide it, who's he talking to? It cuts to Gary Oldman going, cool. And then he looks at his main dude, Ivan, and he's of course, the bad Russian dude's name is Ivan.
They're from Belarus.
Same shit.
Anyway. We're gonna get some angry Belarus and Russian fans, because they're not the same, I don't think.
I think we've already pissed off people with that type of joke.
You know what? Yeah, fair enough. I tried.
I know you did. All right.
They're gonna be ungrateful.
Fucking Eastern European bad guy whose name is Ivan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just he's a bad motherfucker. What do you name him? I'll fucking name him Ivan. Okay, cool.
It's a really stereotypical bad guy Russian name.
Yeah. See, you just said Russian too.
I know. We just established that we didn't care anymore.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can't think of any
I was making a joke.
I can't think of
Sorry, that was probably really loud. My bad.
I can't think of any big complaints that aren't just nitpicks, this could have been tighter or whatever. Because of the type of movie that this was.
Yeah. I think we've hit it.
Yeah, I think so.
I also have to leave the car because I gotta go to bed.
And I have to pee. So, yeah. This has been your buddy WolfmanPedro.
Sorry, I'm eating. I'm Sanna.
And yeah, go out and watch The Hitman's Bodyguard.
I think you guys will have a good time with it.
I have the same opinion of this as I do about my favorite genre of music, which is pop punk. Then we need more fun in the world, and this was fun.
100%.
We need fun movies. We need fun music, and this is fun. You still get your action adrenaline in it, and it's like heartfelt and it's funny. Just go watch it.
I highly recommend it.
If you like buddy cops and stuff like that,
if you like Ryan Reynolds' face.
Yeah.
If you want Samuel Jackson to call you a motherfucker at least 1,000 times.
Yeah,
in
if you
want
to hear Samuel Jackson do his thing and Ryan Reynolds do his current thing, just go watch it. You're gonna have a good time.
And
even if you think it's dumb, go with friends and you will have fun laughing at this movie because of how over the top and ridiculous it is. So yeah, just go watch it. This has been the Backseat movie review.
It's been fun.
And we'll see you guys next time.
I'm burning alive in this car. We gotta go home.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh.